The Boombox Classic just took place, and Jackson State came out with another win. Jackson State put the boom in the Boombox Classic this weekend, which got a lot of folks upset and angry right now with Coach Dooley because they don't understand how in the world could Southern University lose to Jackson State University with all of the turmoil that they had going on in their program during the offseason with head coach Deion Sanders leaving to go to Colorado. Majority of the players, they either went to other schools, they had no eligibility left. They went, they went on, deal with their lives or whatever have you. And then you had those other athletes that decide that they're going to go to another college of their choice to put on and do what they need to do for them schools, for them to get out there and win games like they did at Jackson State. This was supposed to be Southern's year, and it didn't happen. We're going to talk about it right after this. It's your favorite coach back at it again. 10 toes down, about to tell you how it all went down. This is Tomorrow Leader Sports Network with your host, Coach Walker. If you're new to the channel, please like, share, subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you can get all upcoming videos. For all my leaders out there, welcome back. Y'all know the drill. Y'all know the routine. If you haven't done so already, please like, comment, and share these videos. And tap in a friend or two and tell them to come on in. It's nothing but positive vibes. We're just having a good time talking about HBCU sports. And don't forget, you can follow us on all social media platforms. The links are listed down below in the description. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get on in this thing. Because I'm like, Coach, don't you start it. Don't you start. Listen, guys, look here. All I can recall is this. When Jackson State lost the Celebration Bowl, and the word was out that Deion Sanders was leaving to go to Colorado, the jokes were just nonstop. When Jackson State had their the show that he does, every year after the season is over with. When that went off and all of these different things were said about the university, everybody's having a good time, just laughing and joking and talking about how the school, they messed up and then they didn't do right by this man and all this other jive. And then when it came down to the season itself, everybody's making a prediction, say, hey, Southern University going to come out the West. And by the way, they still can come out the West because guess what? This is not considered as a conference game. So let's make sure we keep that in mind. But one thing we got to talk about is this game in particular. Because I think Jackson State was, they were scheduled to come, third, last, something like that. And matter of fact, let's go back a couple of weeks when they lost to FAMU in the Orange Blossom Classic. Oh, Jackson State ain't as good as they, as everybody want to advertise them to be. That's a bunch of hoo-ha. That's a bunch of junk. It ain't going down because when they come see us at our university, we're going to put our foot in their behind. Well, today just wasn't that day. And I got to be honest with you. I watched the game. I watched the game and I had to go back and rewatch it again because I just wanted to see for myself exactly if there was anything in particular that I was missing. And I got to be honest with you. I can honestly say Head Coach Dooley, he sat down, I guess they sat down with blood and got him to understand exactly some of the things that he needed to pay attention to as far as, what the defense is giving him out there on the field. And I got to get a young man his props. He did do that, but I didn't quite understand what happened with the running game. I was expecting a lot more to go on with this running game. I mean, you got Gary Quarles, you got sometimes I rhyme slow, sometimes I rhyme quick. Mr. Rhymes back there in the backfield. I'm thinking they get ready to go ahead and do something with this thing, and it just didn't take off like that. I mean, I guess the play caller for a lot of the Jaguar fans got so far out of control, they're asking to have Coach Dooley behind removed. I'm like, wait a minute. Y'all got a post going up wanting your head coach removed already? Well, man, I'm trying to figure out who's the joke on all of a sudden, because I'm just like, and I know y'all like, Coach, why? Come on, Coach, cut this out. Listen, I asked this question. I asked this question about somebody. I asked this question to someone last week. I'm trying to figure out why certain schools catch so much flack from the masses when it comes down to games just being played and just getting to understand okay, I get it. During the week of, there's a lot of chatter. There's a lot of, back and forth going on. And it should go down that way because it's all in fun. I'll say this game here Southern had opportunities, but they just weren't able to capitalize on Petrie the third caught a bomb from Harold Blood, took it to the house call. Boom. He go ahead, he put up 6 points on the board. They up 7-0. I'm sitting there like, okay, let's see what's going to happen now. Will Southern's defense be able to come out there and stop Jackson State, prevent them from scoring, or will Jackson State come back and go ahead and tie this ball game up? Well, guess what? He ended up getting the ball, take that bad boy to the house, touchdown. Now things are starting to look a little tight to see how this thing gonna go. Was it 7-7 in this ball game? Who's gonna make the necessary changes for things to go, for things to change up in the manner in which they need to? Jackson State was able to do it because one thing that they did in this game, they did not let Jason Brown sit back there in that pocket like a statue. I'm glad that young man, I guess someone sat down with him and showed him some film like, look, son, you can't sit back here and just take shots. Think you're going to be able to stand back there in the pocket all day long and just throw the ball around the field like it's no big deal. No, that's not going to happen. Sometimes you got to pull that ball down and go, especially if they give it to you. And that young man did exactly that in this game. But I got to say this, looking at the game plan for each program, as the game was going on, I said, you know what? Everybody's definitely they're playing things according to their strengths. The strength of the defensive line for both Jackson State and for Southern University definitely was getting after it. Listen, Southern University defensive lineman number 93, Willie Miles, and Davin Cotton was out there getting after it on the field with those other Jaguar defensive players that was in the game, that was playing in them trenches. They was out there getting after it in this game, and I enjoyed that, especially the linebacker play for Southern University. They was out there doing their thing. Got to give them props for that. Cannot take that away from them. But as I stated before, they're going to find a way to neutralize the linebacker to make sure he wasn't going to be able to get off on them and do whatever it is that he wanted to do in the game as far as with being able to dictate pace, dictate how Jackson State was going to be able to run the ball. And when Jackson State understood that, guess what they did? They got to pounding that ball on Southern in this game in which they were not able to slow this thing down. One thing for certain is this. When I looked at Southern, when they were on offense, I said, okay, let's see exactly how things are going to go. I mean, you got Harold Blood out there on the field. He threw the ball 46 times, completing 27 for 255 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions. As I stated before, you had Mr. Petrie III. He caught a touchdown pass for Blood in this game in which I believe he had 4 catches for 53 yards and 1 touchdown pass. And I can't forget about Cassius Allen, who had 4 catches for 81 yards. Now, as I stated previously, the Jaguars running game was something that I was looking to see how that was going to work because I did not expect for Mr. Blood to throw the ball 40-plus times in this game. But be it that they got behind after going up 7-0 and Jackson State putting up 20 unanswered points, what can you expect? Now, don't get it twisted. The Jaguars had an opportunity to put up another score before the halftime for them to go up 14-13, in which Jackson State did miss an extra point kick, in which that's how they got 13 points. Sportsmanlike conduct penalty that was handed to number 23 on Jackson State, who ended up getting ejected from the game. Jaguars were in position for them to go ahead and score. Unfortunately, Harold Blood threw an interception trying to hit one of the receivers in the end zone, in which you had the linebacker when he had picked it off. I think it might have been number 9, if I'm not mistaken. Jackson State always made sure that they had a spy back there watching to see exactly what Harold Blood was going to do. If by chance he's going to pull that ball down and run, or if by chance he's going to stand back there in that pocket and throw the ball. And when he threw that ball, guess what? You had a Jackson State Tiger sitting right there waiting on him to throw that pass and picked him off. And then they go back down, drive down the field once again. Now, as I stated before, the running game was limited for the Jaguars. They rushed the ball 26 times, and they got 13 yards off them 26 times rushing the ball. Now, many mistakes, like I said, was made on the team. As I stated before, you had a bunch of pass interference calls, holding, and then, of course, the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty that was on Jenkins, number 23. I do apologize. I forgot the young man's name in the beginning. But, yes, it was tricky. I mean, when you saw that happen, you sit there like, man, you're getting ready to get the ball. You're getting ready to get you're about to get Southern off the field, and Jackson State is about to get the ball back. But unfortunately, that penalty, put them in position for them to move down into the red zone. And, like I said, luckily it was intercepted. This game, like I said, there was a bunch of haymakers that was thrown in this game. And watching Jackson State come back out in that third quarter, and they was able to finally drive back down the field, go up 20-7. I sat there and said, you know what, this game is going to come down to who can sustain momentum. Jackson State was able to sustain momentum within this game. Once again, as I stated previously, the Jaguars defense was going to have to find a way to neutralize Powers. They were able to do it. in this game, in which he didn't have 100 yards plus receiving, but he did catch 4 balls for 71 yards. Duke Miller had 4 balls for 31 yards, and Irv Mulligan had 2 catches for 15 yards. But the crazy thing about it all was they could not stop Jackson State's running game, in which Jackson State ran, I believe, for 270 yards with Irv Mulligan leading the way. Irv Mulligan had 23 rushes for 105 yards, 1 touchdown. Andre Hunt had 1 touch for 75 yards, which he had a house call on that one time he got the ball in his hands. And then also you had Desmond, who rushed the ball 5 times for 41 yards and 1 touchdown as well. So looking at what they were able to do running the ball along with Jason Brown, like I said, that was a great recipe for them, because Jason Brown didn't have to get out there and throw the ball all over the field, which is something that many people were expecting them to do. I honestly thought they were going to throw the ball a little bit more than what they did in this game, in which, as I stated previously, it was a good recipe for them to have. Remember, I stated in the pregame that in order for each team to win the game, there's going to be certain things that need to be done. And in this instance, didn't know for certain if it was going to be Zy McDaniel or Jason Brown is going to play in this game as the starting quarterback for Jackson State, but it ended up being Brown. And Brown came out there and delivered for the team to go ahead and hit the W on the day. Jason Brown threw the ball 27 times, completing 17 for 140 yards, 1 touchdown. And as I stated before, Rico Powers was the one that caught that lonely touchdown that Jason Brown threw in this game. But as I stated, Jackson State came out, both teams, actually not only Jackson State, but Southern and Jackson State both came out and showed toughness in this game to show that both teams have true grit and the ability to you just dig in and go get it. In this instance, Jackson State was able to make more plays than Southern University. Another key ingredient that I stated in the pregame also was whoever got the 21st was going to win the game. Jackson State got the 21st. And not only that, but looking at how both teams are constructed, Southern University was having a little bit harder time getting that ball up and down the field. The game plan was predicated on Harold Blood being able to throw those passes accurately down the field for the Jaguars to catch those passes, continue to keep moving the chains. Whenever they didn't have a Jackson State defender, on them, then yeah, he was able to get those balls out there to them with no problem for them to catch the pass and keep moving the ball. Now, one thing for certain I'll say is this. There's a lot of falling down with DBs out there on the field covering folks. As the weeks go on, you got to make sure now you keep your feet and stay with your man that you're covering, because guess what? Offensive coordinators are going to be looking at that. They're going to be trying to find a way to either hit you with a double or triple move to get that receiver free for them to get up the field and score. So you already know, the trick bags is coming. So y'all get ready for this thing. But like I said before, Jackson State was able to go into the boot, get a win from Southern University in order for for them to keep moving forward. Yes, this was not a conference game, but it gives Jackson State bragging rights one more time as far as them being able to come out of the boot, come out of Louisiana with a win. Not to mention this is 4 straight for them, because the last 3 times Jackson State won the Boombox Classic. Deion Sanders was the former head coach, in which he was able to win those games. And not only the Boombox Classic 3 times, the Boombox Classic 2 times, and you had the SWAC Championship that was played last season in Jackson, in which Coach Deion Sanders and the Jackson State Tigers were able to win those games. So all of those count up to 4 straight. And I'm sure right now the Southern Jaguar fans are not happy with this loss. Like I stated before, I just saw online not too long ago, they're wanting to petition for head coach Dooley to be removed. I don't quite understand how did it get to this point so fast. We're only 2 games into the season. As I stated previously, Southern just may very well come out of the West as everyone had predicted. So we're going to see how this is going to go. State plays Texas State next week, and you got Southern University playing Alabama A&M, who came off a big win against Wayne College this past weekend. So we're going to see how this is going to go. Guys, like I said, tune in, tap in, tell a friend of a friend what's going on over here. Like I said, your favorite coach is delivering this content to you. Then make sure you have all the update information as far as what's going down. But guys, Coach going to go ahead and get up on out this thing. But until next time, be the one and lead.